The photos in the bottle had no address nor signature. I didn't know if it was an SOS I couldn't understand, or whether I'd intercepted something private between lovers, or if it was a big game I was supposed to open, add to, and resend by the whim of the ocean. I kept them. There was something in these shapes and the black and white geometry, alien, that felt like looking into a warped mirror. Watery bloodstreams in the rock like calcified bone, and the sand like pores of skin, prehistoric, skeletal land. Was I seeing bodies where there weren't any? I went searching. Down here are great reveries, lulled by noises on the current. Blue noise, cold noise, circular as a baby's mobile, which is the sun in the sky, which is the surface, or floor, because those directions here are toppled. The ups, the ons, the against, the with, those are the things of air and land. Here refracted into illusion, distraction, baiting you just long enough for the kelp to tickle, then ensnare a foot. Salt to inhabit your lungs, not out of malice, but curiosity, the same way the unshelled beings will peek out of their shallow sands at your approach, curious and hopeful that their titan has returned, horn in hand, hippocampus braying at his knees, to call the whales and sharks to arms, perhaps to defend their shore. This blue is old, briny, seeping, recycled over and out of the great rivers, straddling clouds, dew of plants, fluids of man, as many times as our wrinkled brains can count. Here it takes the waste of the air. There it protects the zooxanthellae, breeds their destroyers. And the miracle plant, as ubiquitous as bubbles and sand, seaweed, kelp, marine meadow, algae, from the Latin alga, singular. His is a large diaspora, 50,000 species occupying all oceans, ranging from 30 men tall to invisible to the naked eye, fed on by invertebrates and humans. However he appears on the otherwise svelte landscape, grazing up with a waving arm, blindly as Tiresias upon angering the gods, loyally as old Eumaeus of Ithaca at his master's long return. He is the crucial organ, the common cell, flora necessita, and one of the ocean's most trusted secret keepers.
I've seen you wandering the beach and staring at me, diving in my pond and listening, stomping all over the sand. Don't think you're the first laddie to get a taste for salt, boy. But it isn't all mermaids and crab legs, boyo. Stop looking for her. She's not something you can drill for and carry away in a pipe. Your ears aren't meant for it. Do you hear me? Your ears aren't made for it. You're like a bird about to land in lava. Not to mention, you're kind of pillagers anyway. Lead-lunged, unwebbed, clumsy landies. That first flood didn't take you away, so you want to try another, huh? Remember this, the seas don't forget. There were seas before land, and land before man. Boy, it was blue. Boy, it was calm.
The algaemen's words, spat like acid, somehow scored my actions but didn't dissuade me from staying on the beach. I felt that he knew me from a past life. I did try to become fascinated with the world again. Dry world, land world. On the beach, like royals in sand castles, people lazed and played in the sun. I looked at limbs, including my own, and tried to feel the old romance. It had been misplaced, transported out. Now I saw the body as if it was a sandcastle. something architectural growing out the ground like a sapling, shaped by a bucket and plastic spade. Our skin is soft and dry and weak, and I felt like it deserved a little flag and a moat dug around each foot. We have hairs like those on leaves, subject to the wind. Chests concealing delicate lungs. Weird nails. I became interested only in skin wet with ocean water, or even a bead of sweat behind the knee. That, I felt, could activate and animate any statue. I don't know if I liked the absence of language, or whether I was imagining telepathy. What's it like to wear a shell? Can a crab understand a poem? A photo? Have you seen her? I tried to. Scoured the horizon until my eyes turned dry. The birds knew. Was she in the gull's wing? Is she selling seashells, playing as a human? She must be the root of some riddle or myth. Pale siren beneath the dark waves. You sing when nobody hears. Why can't I listen? Models want to be photographed. Singers need their voice. If I bottle mine and throw it in, will you believe me then? Maybe you deserve my sanity to balance the scales. Like algae men, you must think I have hubris, and that I am folly enough to try to listen without losing my mind. It's the opposite. I'd be a happy captive to whatever octave you reach. I'm a kid compared to you. I'm a goat, having tiptoed down the mountain path to drink at your stream, unaware that my siblings have been here already and trampled you, muddy. Listen. We are capable of pleasant things. I don't know if this is a serenade or my own attempt to trap you, or my own attempt to prove my own innocence, that I don't deserve the sins of others visited unto me. I went to the docks and envied all their sails. The masts which seemed to go up forever, like trees, rooted, unrooted like algae, bobbing. I read the boats all named like a troop of hunting dogs or racing horses. Dad's dream, 3 hooks, tax credit. Ultramar, everywhere. These are characters like Larine, Taraxacum. Brachyura. Were these creatures invented or discovered, evolved or beamed into existence? The algae man alluded to crises and floods before. Maybe Homo sapiens is just as easily blamed as we are quick to blame, by circumstance, the only ones without an alibi for this great crime, the ones whose reputations precede them. If I were to find myself holding a trident outside a polluted cove, what would I think? I collect materials by the dusk. This is waste and cast-offs, so I am not thief, but curator. Is it hers? The shell was too thin. I tried. I put it back where it was.
You tried playing with fine china, eh? Fancied yourself a good Samaritan? Put the porcelain away. Call me unfair, boyo, but however many barnacles you scrape off me beard will not wash away the brine from your hands. It's stained like ink. Ink! You like ink, eh? Ink and wax, pearls and tusks and oil. The only thing you don't bother to keep is your balance, Landy. Acid-fingered, bone-dry mineral. You can't marry her. You're an unwanted suitor.
What can I do?
Heed me, and taste the foul and dredge it, the concentrated elixir of wreck you've made my seas. Taste it. Drink if you care for a solution.
I had wanted, but hadn't known. I felt envy for all things of the sea. There were those I could see, the dumb barnacles, the minnows which hid when a rock was thrown, or even when it rained, the shellfish people hunted en masse, the gulls, and the rocks which were shaped through centuries, Neptune's carvings which never strove except to receive the daily tide. And the light of the sun on the water, coming in fragments, which I felt was a kind of spell? Mythological code to be unraveled, something ancient coming in zeros and ones which men couldn't yet decipher. It glittered like a chalice, or like moonlight in daylight, dissolved against the hands that tried to cup it. I think this is the origin of the siren, she who is permitted to touch the light, bring it to her lips on a glistening finger and be tempted to taste. Of the things I couldn't see, besides her, there were dark shapes and bright reefs, which faded as I thought of them, and dead whales whose bleached bones drifted in the currents before settling, and being forged by the rock and unbreathing life into a home for the wretched, the new, the things like me which might have merged with cursed oil and been transformed, crawled back down, corrupted. Of this I tried not to see, because the fateful condition of he who looks that far, beneath or ahead, never knowing if fact or premonition, is sea delirium. It is its favorite punishment for those who stare and forget to move. Yes, the bake of the sea that lights its residents ruins its observers. I wanted to rove those soft shards of stone, and taste brine in every pore, pour the hollows and grottos for her and them. I wanted it to shrink me, gill me, fill my lungs with salt that I might know my place, and know by instinct, as even the minnows know, my natural course of sleeping, eating, breeding, dying. If I could just hold my breath long enough to witness what the waves hide. If I could periscope, dive into where it all sinks without choking, swim with a school through the great abandoned ships whose hulls were once unbreachable, whose paraffin wax now gently drips away, whose anchors rust, victorious, whose tarry pitch is like a venom, engulfing in clouds the big Atlantic's arteries, and whose sails, one collapsed, tear themselves hopelessly in search of wind, leaking polymers. If all this was seen and heard instead of guessed at, maybe I could join in the siren's song, which is violent, hostile, but not unwarranted. Hers is the cry of the victim, retaliating. What would I preserve in amber or opal? Myths are dead once they're written. Numbers change too quickly. All I have is a wrinkled brain, and limbs which stay dry in the sun, and lungs that gasp weakly. I can watch, but surveillance is the fool's idea of compassion or justice. I can swim. I can float. But the sea being in its constant state of flux and generativity, sex and music, spawning Aphrodite from the frothing of the foam on the rocks, rolling in and out of each of its coves like a lover, conceiving and delivering at once. Its being the source of everything, even including the wrinkled brain which recognized that fact, made me feel slow, still, and dead by comparison. Man is a fungus, man is a rot. Man carries a scythe, and deludes himself by beautiful visions that he is capable of manifesting them. Even when I went in, with a toe, with a hand, or my whole body plunged, it was as a skeleton surrounded by flowers and birds. The sweet sea's perfume couldn't redeem me, much as I sensed it tried. I have inherited every crime of the pirate and predator. Sirens see my skull and crossbones, flee the inevitable waste I'll lay, even alert the shells and pearls to roll away. Once there was a bounty, yielded happily, as Proteus would kindly let a polite stranger dance with his daughter on the shore, even ask the bubbles to blow and dolphins to jump and cormorants to sing, even he obeying the laws of hospitality. Now each harvest is a theft, each skipping stone is a rape, and despite the ocean's many renewals, melts, flooding rivers, nightly dalliances with the moon, her memory is long. Even the dead things of the sea keep their vigor. The petrified wood and empty shells might tense up, regain their color at any minute. I can feel some kind of judgment by a foreign code of ethics. He would hatch, scuttle, wear out his shell, crash with the waves into rocks, whether I was here or not. But still I have somehow wronged him, or been bystander to an injustice. He, or his brothers, all are the same in the sea, all of one species, share one brain and feel one pain, transmitted on the currents. He or his brothers have witnessed a selfish act, and have tried to conceal themselves in thinner and thinner enamels, as an oil fire raged above, heated the surface, burned off the speckled light. Proteus is the man with barnacles on his heart. He lives like a nomad in the deeps, disgusted with our race, only wading into the shallows on occasion to shake his fist and save a snail. I suppose the algae man was a face he cast out to threaten me, as a fisherman casts his rod with ease. Proteus, name on the breeze's stench. Proteus, subject of the seagull's mockery. If ever I'm to write back, it will be addressed to you, Proteus, who knows and detests all tongues, because I do not know the name of your daughter,